Let's take you to some international news breaking just a short while ago. British Prime Minister Theresa May has resigned. She announced her resignation in a short briefing outside 10 Downing Street just a short while ago. And our UK correspondent, Ollie Barrett, joins us now live for the latest on that story. Ollie, it can't have come as a surprise to many people around the world, including Theresa May, and yet she was incredibly emotional while making that announcement.
She was very emotional, yes, and she made that speech outside Downing Street in front of her husband, Philip May, her voice cracking, some tears very visible as she finished up her speech, talking about how proud she has been to be the UK's Prime Minister. She also listed some of her accomplishments that she feels she's achieved in office, and the reason she's doing that is because she's very well aware that she is, for many, going to be remembered as the Prime Minister who had one job, which was to deliver Brexit, and failed to deliver on that task. But yes, she's announced that she will be standing down as leader of the Conservative Party on June the 7th. That then fires the gun for a leadership contest for the Conservatives. She will remain as Prime Minister while that leadership contest plays out, and then once the Conservatives have chosen who is going to be their new leader, then that person will become Prime Minister.
If you think back on Theresa May's 3-year stint as Prime Minister, it's difficult to remember anything else but this failed Brexit deal.
Yeah, you know, she did list, as I say, what she feels are some of her accomplishments. She talked about bringing the Britain's economic deficit down. She talked about how many people are in work in this country, the low levels of unemployment. She talked about work around mental health issues. Maybe given some time and some distance from her premiership, there will be some achievements that historians and political experts will look back on. But people are going to remember her as the Prime Minister who promised to deliver Brexit on March the 29th, did not do so. It's already been extended until the end of October this year. And she had those repeated attempts to get the Brexit deal that she did agree with Brussels through the House of Commons here in London. She just wasn't able to do so. That is partly a failure of the deal that she was presenting. It wasn't acceptable to enough MPs. Partly also perhaps a failure in terms of communication. Many people feel she just didn't have the ability to sell her deal to the House of Commons, but also to the wider British public. So, yeah, she leaves Downing Street very emotional, but will be staying as Prime Minister until a new leader is chosen.
And, of course, there's been a lot of chatter, even in the run-up to today's announcement that she would be resigning. There was a lot of media coverage and sort of speculation around the fact that it would be taking place at some point. A lot of people saying definitely before this Sunday, and as we now know, it has taken place Friday morning. Her own cabinet, one member of her own cabinet saying the real reason behind this resignation is her trying to put forward her Brexit plans to Parliament again, and that it, quote, crossed a line. What was it that crossed the line, Ollie?
Well, for many MPs in her own party, it was the fact that she was trying to reach a compromise with opposition MPs when it came to Brexit. And one of those key areas of compromise, which sort of illustrates the whole problem for Theresa May when it comes to Brexit, was this idea of a second Brexit referendum. What she was saying in this latest version of her Brexit deal to opposition MPs who want a second referendum was, I will let you, if you agree with my deal, if you get this first bit of it through the House of Commons, we will give you a vote on whether there should be a second Brexit referendum. Now, that was an example of an offer that she made that made many in her own party absolutely furious with the idea of a second referendum even being mentioned by their leader, by their Prime Minister who's trying to deliver Brexit. But the compromise didn't even go down well with the people that it was designed to please. Those Labour MPs who want a second referendum were saying, well, you're not actually offering us a second Brexit referendum, you're just offering us a vote on whether there should be a second Brexit referendum. So we might not even get that second Brexit referendum. As I say, that illustrates the whole Brexit dilemma for Theresa May. Every time she's tried to compromise with one section of her party or the House of Commons, it's upset another part. And so she's just found herself unable to move it forward.
I mean, Ali, we've been talking about the fact that she'll most likely for some time be remembered as the Prime Minister who wasn't able to deliver on that one job that she had, but you've got to give it to her. She must also be remembered for her incredible tenacity. She just kept going.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, tributes are coming in thick and fast now from many in her own party who've been pretty rude about her in recent weeks, and they are all mentioning her tenacity, her resilience, her sense of duty, how hard she has been working on the Brexit issue. This is a Prime Minister who has faced crisis after crisis after crisis, multiple resignations from her cabinet. She's faced criticism from within her own party. She's faced a general election which was pretty disastrous. Many Prime Ministers would have resigned after that back in 2016, but she has hung on. She has tried her best. No one will deny that.
So what's, I'm sure there's a lot of chatter around who will be taking over as UK Prime Minister. What's the talk that you're hearing?
Yeah, there are a lot of runners and riders already. I mean, this was the problem for Theresa May. It was so clear that she was going at some point in the near future that the leadership race had effectively already started with her still in the job. But there are a number of front runners. Sajid Javid, the current Home Secretary, Dominic Raab, the former Brexit Secretary, a hardline Brexiteer voice in the party. We may see a leadership bid from Jeremy Hunt, the current Foreign Secretary. But the front runner, you have to say, at the moment is Boris Johnson, the former Mayor of London, the former Foreign Secretary, and again a key voice in the Brexit referendum campaign. One of the reasons he is considered to be a front runner is he's very popular with the grassroots membership of the party, and the way the Conservative leadership contest plays out is the candidates will be whittled down, whittled down, whittled down. When we get to the final round, it'll be put to the party membership. So if he gets there, he stands a very good chance indeed of being the next Conservative leader and therefore the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Ollie, before we let you go, I'm sure you've been sort of gauging reaction on social media among perhaps colleagues and friends. What's been their reaction to Theresa May's resignation, and perhaps their thoughts for who should be taking over?
Yeah, a lot of MPs in her own party have been paying tribute to the speech she gave, first of all, outside Downing Street, saying that it was a dignified exit. They've been paying tribute, as I say, to her tenacity, to how hard she has worked at the Brexit issue. I think a lot of people in her own party, even if they feel she got a lot wrong when it comes to Brexit, do also acknowledge that it is an almost impossible task, given her lack of a working majority in the House of Commons, to find some kind of Brexit deal that would satisfy enough people to win a majority. So tributes being paid to the difficulty of her premiership, to the hard work that she's put in, and also to the way that she has exited. There are a lot of tributes coming her way now, but also Conservative MPs very much looking to the future, saying we need to get on with this leadership campaign and make sure it doesn't go on too long so we can have a new Prime Minister in post rapidly to get on with the Brexit process.
Yeah, thanks very much for that. Our UK correspondent, Ollie Barrett there, bringing us up to speed on British Prime Minister Theresa May's resignation. She announced that resignation just a short while ago in a very short and emotional media briefing outside 10 Downing Street.